question was a simple, short one. Is Maui crazy overpriced? And the topic I wanted to discuss, because this comes up a lot, is as far as about, why, why is Hawaii real estate so expensive? And to Val's question, is it overpriced? So what I want to kind of chat on is people who say, how, these are crazy, these are crazy prices. Is Maui crazy overpriced? So Heidi, when someone like Val talks to you and says, you know is this crazy overpricing, how do you respond to that?
Well, I think whenever you're investing in something, especially real estate, you want to make sure that you're buying something that's a good value. I mean, my first question is, what are you comparing it to? Because I work with clients that come from different markets from all over the US and Canada, and the market here on Maui is very different, for example, than the market in the Midwest or somewhere else in the United States. And I mean, you definitely can't compare them. Often buyers come into the Maui market thinking, well, in Texas, 400,000 gets me this. Well, on Maui, it's going to be a little bit different. So, I mean, I think your reference point, you want to make sure that you're looking at the actual market that you're buying in, because keep in mind, when you go to sell your property, you're going to be selling it in the Maui market as well. You're not going to be selling it in a different market. As far as is the market overpriced, our median prices on Maui have been steadily increasing since 2012. I had people in 2015 saying the market's overpriced, I'm going to wait, I'm not going to buy anything. And the prices have continued to go up. So when I'm working with buyers, I mean, my advice is to really look at and understand the current market and see what's going on and buy something that's a good value in the current market. I mean, long-term investing in real estate has been really great for people long-term. I mean, we're on an island with limited space, limited opportunities to develop. A lot of times, what's here is here as far as the inventory.
Yeah, thanks, Heidi. That's a great way to look at this. Scott, is Oahu crazy overpriced?
I mean, I would contend no. I mean, there's a reason there's a ton of buyers buying in the market, right? They obviously don't feel it's overpriced.
In fact, Scott, if I may interject, they think it's underpriced, which is why they're bidding over the asking price. So the argument is it's underpriced on Oahu. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, I just had to give perspective. I just had a client come from California who, when they listed their property for like 1.4, it's in escrow at 1.9 with 150 grand non-refundable to be released immediately to them with no contingencies. We're not seeing that here. So is that market crazy overpriced compared to here? I think everybody's kind of looking at this at, okay, where is the market going? Where are things headed? They're obviously hedging that we're headed in an upward trajectory. They wouldn't be doing that. Overpriced, what are you comparing it to? I had a conversation, I remember this was about 15 years ago, with my uncle, was talking about this unit. I said, man, I could sell this thing for like 600,000. I could go pay cash back in Charlotte, North Carolina, where I grew up. Brand new construction, half-acre parcel, brick home, Viking appliances, the whole 9 yards for like 250,000. And we both looked at each other because he grew up in North Carolina too. He goes, yeah, but who the heck wants to live in North Carolina? And we laughed, just making fun of where we came from. But it was, an interesting perspective looking at that. I don't think it's priced because people are willing to pay it.
That's it. I mean, the simple definition, if it's only overpriced if no one's buying it. If people are buying it, there's an argument to be had to say it's actually underpriced. Dylan, give me a Dylanism. I need to have a Dylanism on this one. Dylanism, everybody, for those of you that are not regulars on the shows, he's got these great one-liners. So give me the Dylanism on the is Kona overpriced? Is Hilo overpriced?
It's just perspective and how important it is to you, right? How many of you go into at the airport, you're thirsty and you buy $10 bottle of water, right? Is it overpriced? Yep, but you wanted it, you needed it at the time. So the same is true of housing. And if this is where you want to be, this is where you desire to be, you're going to pay what a seller is asking, and that's the true definition of market value, right? What a buyer and seller agree on a price, that's what the market value is. So to them, it's a fair price and they proceed with the transaction. If a buyer doesn't agree with the seller's price and they don't come to a agreement, then there's no agreement, and the buyer can contend it was overpriced and the seller can contend it wasn't, and we're there. So yeah, it's all a matter of perspective and people coming together. And that's really one of the frustrating things right now with appraisals, is that appraisals are based on lagging information, right? They're based on the past 6 months of information, not based on the current climate. And a lot of times appraisers are using comps and situations that are not reflective of the current market, and we're having issues with appraisals because of that. But really, a good appraiser is going to try and justify the price, because the definition of market value is a buyer and seller agreeing on a price. Pretty simple.
Pretty simple, and talk about the overpricing issue. My wife and I have been binging on Survivor episodes as a kind of a fun thing to watch. And one of the segments that came to mind on Survivor is the one where he gives each person $500, right? And then he opens up and he pulls open a plate with a burger and fries, right? And people pay $400 for a burger and fries. Is it overpriced? No. Because at the time they're so darn hungry, that they'd rather kind of blow the money on burger and fries. So is a $400 plate of burger and fries overpriced? Well, not if you haven't eaten for 30 days. It's a deal. So that goes back to the whole overpricing. So indeed, it's all about what people are willing to pay, and clearly, people do find the value. They are willing to pay the price, and that's why the market is doing what it's doing.